Hello everyone. Welcome back to another session of Healing Through Awareness. This is our fifth in this series, and I'm very excited for today's topic. We are going to be diving into one of my favorites, but honestly, it's one of the deepest ones. It's a question: why am I always unhappy in relationships? So today's session is going to be about that and uncovering that theme and topic. So yeah, very excited about that. Before we go on, let me introduce myself. I am Victoria, a spiritual alchemist, intuitive and astrologer, and I help souls go from turn their pain into power and go from survival to creation and find their mission and purpose using astrology and alchemy. And as always, I'm here today with my lovely friend Zaneta. So will you be so kind and introduce yourself?
Thank you, Victoria, as always. So lovely to be here with you. So anyone new who might not know, my name is Zaneta. I'm a certified NLP and a mindfulness coach. Basically, my mission, my vision always has been back from my past as a nurse, is to care and to give a good service that it can be useful in the daily life. And that's why the NLP and mindfulness has been created through that, through all the pain that what I went through in the past, and realizing that there is a chance for everyone. Once we become aware, then we know how to tackle it. So the mission is to serve in my best ability, to give everybody but the best, and the best to live the best life, and with less pain as possible, with daily tools that can be used. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Victoria. Lovely to see you. I love the topic today. I think it's one of the topics everybody would like to talk about and everybody would like to go deep in, because I think it's kind of we all going through, and it's an ongoing business, right? In a relationship, in a relationship, out of the relationship, within, without, everywhere.
Yeah, it's something that we all experience and it affects us all.
Yes, it does, unfortunately. And it's kind of like it never stops, because obviously they say, right, that the best teacher is when you are in a relationship. So your partner is always the best teacher. So if you think you're done, wait when you are in a relationship.
Yeah, that's a good
And
thing.
then I think many of us, I don't know yourself there, but I have asked many times in my life this question: how is it even possible that I am in this relationship? You know, we live together, we do everything together, we own a home together, we love each other, and still feeling so disconnected. You know, I asked so many times of myself after a few years. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, we all, as I said, we all find ourselves in the same position and it affects us all the same way. I myself found myself there many, many times, right? I I can relate to what you just said.
Yeah.
And you know, what I found is that, and what I want to say is that even if you find yourself in that place, it doesn't mean that you are broken or unlucky or doomed or that it's just, meant for you to be like that. Um, Relationships are a mirror. In alchemy, relationships act as a sacred mirror for us.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Yeah.
are reflecting back to us our stories, our wounds, frequency, basically our inner state. So as my favorite teacher, R.J. Spina, says, the universe is like a hall of mirrors. So basically, we are the only one in a metaphysical sense. We are the only one here, and there are mirrors. So all the relationships they act as a mirror. And
Totally agree.
so yeah, and if we look at relationships that way, then it becomes more freeing and more, you know,
Liberating to
yeah,
see that the
yeah,
partner is just here to show us the triggers.
yeah,
And
and it doesn't just affect like romantic relationships, it's every relationship, the one we have with, our parents, our siblings, partners, business partners, teachers, guides, our neighbors, everyone. Because
yeah,
as I
no,
said, it's like you are the only one here. And it's kind of, weird too,
it's
but
like, oh,
yeah, it's,
for those who might not be aware of that.
yeah, it's tricky to wrap your head around that, but when you really understand, then it's really freeing and liberating. And
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we all chosen to be here for a reason, to evolve. And unfortunately, as humans, we came here to evolve through pain. I mean, how can we know what is happiness if we don't know what is pain, what is actually being sad? What is it to be poor? Need to know what is it to be poor in order to be rich. So if we want to be happy and have the freedom of happiness and joy, we need to actually open up all the negative aspect of that is leading you to happiness, to freedom, to joy, to connect, deep connection to yourself, right?
yeah,
And so when we're here on our own, we're discovering so many parts of us. And that's the beautiful part, as you explained, Victoria, the relationship. And not just a loving relationship, because the relationship, it actually has many aspects of different parts. We slice ourselves in different parts, relationship with your mother, father, sister, brother, everybody. And then everybody teaching you something from somewhere. You pick up a bit of negativity or a bit of here and there, and then you become as one. And then after we are here to slice them off
yeah, yeah,
bit by bit, discovering who we truly are and why did we get here.
yeah.
And
Another
so
thing, oh, sorry, go
please
on.
go ahead. Please go ahead.
I love that, Zanetta, how you said that. Another thing that came to my mind is also from a spiritual perspective, like there was only oneness, like Source was oneness, and because Source wanted to experience itself, then it became like, you know, um, how do you say it? Like it split itself.
Multiple version of itself.
Yeah, it split itself up. So that's what we are experiencing now as relationships and uh, those mirrors, right? That's
Yeah,
actually a tool
precisely.
to learn more about yourself and evolve, as you said.
Exactly, because what you said is true, because how can we evolve? How can we know ourselves more if you are always on your own? Then you don't have no experience to experience the negative in order to tackle it. And so we do need people in our life, whatever it is, and so they can trigger us because that trigger is the one that it's leading us to grow and leading us to go and connect deeper within ourselves. Then so finally we can start to work on ourselves. If there is no one to show us, so this is what you said, so beautifully explained. One slides up multiple different versions of ourselves, so where we can literally learn what we need to learn in order to become as whole, as one, as what we are.
Yes, wonderfully said. Very beautiful.
Thank you. But you know, the thing is, what happened is that when we start a relationship, so we're not going to go into so much mindfulness and happy and that. So let's talk about real. Let's just be real here for once and for all, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we studied. It doesn't matter what we are. In the end, we are still humans, and we do enter into relationships. And some of them works, some of them doesn't. Some of them stay for a short period of time. Some of them stay longer. Some of them forever. Who knows? Whatever
Yeah.
it is. But the thing is that probably every single person in this world, we all experience the disconnection of the what we think is relationship, but it's really not. So who we really disconnect when we are, I'm just trying to put myself in a shoe. So always, you know, when we have this honeymoon period, when we enter into this relationship, you feel so loved and everything is just so beautiful. And you think, you know, you live in a fairyland and you think it's just going to be forever. And then the reality will hit in. And then you realize, oops. And the problem starts.
Yeah. Let's bring in some more practical examples and
Yeah.
real world examples. So, yeah, as you said, like, but even then, after the honeymoon phase and when the reality kicks in, you know, and when you consciously go through that and, you know, work through that, it can become even more beautiful and all of that. But let's talk today about this question, like, why do we find ourselves unhappy? So I would say that if you are still believing that you are unworthy, then you will keep attracting people that will confirm that. Or if you are still carrying some abandonment, then you're going to replay that over and over. Doesn't matter. I can attest to that.
So what is your story, Victoria?
Yeah, I experienced that in all different costumes, from family to friends to partners to teachers, you know. And then we will come to that. I'm not going to spoil the ending. But yeah, you know, the also like another thing that I experienced is like when you've been taught that love equals sacrifice, then you will keep ending up drained until there's nothing left.
Oh, yeah.
And
sucks your soul out.
yeah. But here's the thing, like none of this is a punishment. So even when you like go in front of a mirror with your body, you know, and you go there with a frown, you know, you see yourself unhappy, it's not a punishment, it's just how it is. That's exactly like how is it in relationships, you know, when you get abandoned, hurt, you know, someone triggers your unworthiness, it's just how it is. And that's when the alchemy can come in. That's when we can shift this.
Exactly.
How would you, Zaneta, how would you say that this shows up, this unhappiness in relationships? What is your view?
I think the biggest cause of this disconnection, it's basically, as you said it yourself, and what we said, that's, you know, when we enter into a relationship, it's all beautiful. You give yourself, what you just explained so nicely, you give yourself to that person with all your soul and heart, everything you have. But then what happened is that with time, we don't realize, as we give everything to this person, we forget about ourselves. And so the discomfort comes not because of that person has did anything or said anything, is because we feel this loneliness within us, that we become someone who we never been. So, you know, they say when you enter in a relationship, and if you've been going to the gym, or you've been doing a diet, or you've been going out with your friends, please continue during the relationship, because you are still you. And so from my personal perspective as well, what I've seen is that every relationship we enter, or I entered, after a while, I forgot about myself. You know, especially when you have children in a family, oh my gosh, then that's even worse, because you don't just become, you become a mother. You become a mother, a woman. And so then you forget totally about yourself. But what about me? What about that girl who entered into a relationship, who was full of energy, happy, joyful, lots of friends, and then suddenly when you are in a verge of disconnection and you feel unhappy, and we blame others, it's no one to blame really, and then we realize, where is that person? Where is the person who entered? This is not me. I am not this. I used to go out. I used to have fun. I used to enjoy every moment. And so I thought, you enter in a relationship, you will do that with your partner, because we have loads of expectations and we assume things in our beautiful mind. You know, we play the beautiful movie. It's going to be perfect. And unfortunately, it's not like that. And then what happens, that you realize you feel sad. And then many times I even felt lonely in a relationship. Like I have the partner, but it's not, I feel on my own, no one to talk to. So then I realized that everything with time, it becomes, you know, everything in autopilot. We're repeating the same question, the same conversation, you know, the same issues. And if we don't, so this is the cause, basically. I think the disconnection coming from us, from deeper within us, that we don't put enough attention anymore. We are not aware of our own need, because as you said, that if we give our everything to that person or to that relationship, we don't have nothing left for us. What about me? What if I'm sad and I need to sit down? I don't even realize that. You know, when you are in a relationship, sad, bad, angry, whatever, we just continue our life. And then we feel the disconnection. This is my personal experience, and the clients who I am with, they asking the same. How is it possible? So what was your own cause? The same, what we are just talking about? And so what made you awake that this is not right?
Yeah, I love what you shared. Like we often lose ourselves in roles and lose ourselves in relationships. What did you ask?
So I ask, how did you come to the terms that you realize that there must be more than just what we are now? So once you really realize that there is a disconnection, and when we're feeling unhappy in a relationship, and then we realize, obviously we can't ask this from anyone. How did you realize that there is actually something more? Or how did you realize that you feel disconnect? What action or what feeling or what questions you were asking yourself? How did you become aware of your disconnection? That's the right question. We get that. We get that.
Yeah. So I love that question. Well, I would say, you know, it comes from that disconnect, as you say, and that unhappiness, unfulfilledness. When you realize that you actually are that these relationships are actually pointing you towards your inner world, your inner wounds, your inner, that you are actually trying to fill a void within yourself. And that's when I started, you know, becoming aware and asking myself, how can I, you know, give this to myself that I'm actually looking to get from someone else?
Yeah. And so how was your relationship with your partner that time, when you were still in not being so aware? So what made you get to this point? Is it the constant discussion or?
For me, I was, you know, was really codependent, you know, putting my needs to the side. I was afraid to, you know, be myself, to be more, to ask, to, you know, I was just a codependent and a people pleaser. And I was always, you know, prioritizing my partner and, you know, doing whatever he wanted and pleasing him and stuff. And, you know, that's when actually the disconnection happened, because no matter what I was doing, he wasn't pleased. No matter how much, you know, I was putting my needs to the side, he was still, you know, unhappy, and he abandoned and left no matter what I did. So that's when I realized that I actually abandoned myself.
Exactly. And that is so beautiful, right? Because as you said it energetically, that we only attract people who are certain level of awareness with us, equal.
Yeah.
And so if we abandon ourselves during the relationship, which the majority of us do, then basically that person feel it energetically, right? He knows that unconsciously. And that's the thing, that they sometimes they don't know why they act the way they act, because it's all within us. So when we abandon ourselves, they have no choice than to show us, you abandon yourself and I will show you. Because this is it, right? We need to prioritize ourselves. We have to be number one, whether we are in a relationship or not. And so how we can actually give something when we don't have it ourselves. So if there is any type of this concern or some type of belief, assumption from ourselves, which is going to be our next topic, if you don't feel enough, good enough, if you don't love yourself and love yourself, how you abandon yourself, then that person has to show it to us, because that's why we are here for. If you don't treat yourself well, I cannot treat you well, because that's the learning curve in here. So we are all here to learn and to expand. So what do you think?
Yeah, beautiful.
After discussing, and we know what is the root cause of us, that when you lost in your little world and you no longer prioritize yourself by others, then that will be shown, whether you like it or not. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but with time, will show. Now the question is that we have this little loop in our brain, you know, what we are thinking about and what we want from the others. I think everything also coming, how we've been, the society and the parents, how they taught us, you know, as women as well. So I remember my grandmother used to say, if you're in a relationship, you know, you need to be a giving mother, partner, wife, a friend. But they never said that, but never forget about yourself. How was your upbringing?
Amazing question, Zaneta. Well, from my upbringing, I actually learned to be, you know, a people pleaser and a codependent. You know, I was always taught to sacrifice myself for love, and, you know, so
Yeah. Become a
we
victim.
yeah,
Basically, right?
we were, I mean, I was brainwashed heavily with,
Do you know what, Victoria? It's so sad, and I think we all actually enter into this victim state. But this is why we are here, right? This is why we're talking about this, that we all been there. We all went through pain in our life. And the only way to get out of this pain was to become aware that there is something not right.
yeah. And yes, our upbringing and our childhood is the one that programmed us. We always say that the first 7 years of our lives was the most crucial ones, where we learned all these programs,
Yeah.
and where we picked up on most of these patterns and all of it. But from, you know, from this perspective, where we are adults, we can shift these, and it's our responsibility to shift these. So I would like to go into what I call my recode practice.
Amazing. Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what I call the Mirror Recode Practice. And this is when you are experiencing some type of disappointment or reoccurring pattern or something, you know, in relationships that is, you know, weighing down on you or triggering you. So instead of asking, for example, let's say someone hurt you or a partner cheated on you or whatever, don't, you know, instead of asking, why did this person do this to me, ask yourself, what part of me is still believing that I deserve this? Or what story am I carrying within me that is reflecting this back to me? And after that, write down your answers. And step 3 is to alchemize it. That's where we burn it.
Also, is that how you alchemize it?
Yeah, that's where the fire. I mean, not literally. I'm just making.
I know you love fire. That's why. Body.
Yeah. Then comes the fire, and you say, "This is not mine. This is something that I borrowed from my past, from my survival, from my old wounds. But the truth is, I am worthy of love, or worthy to be whatever. Make your statement." Worthy of love, like that feels like freedom and safety or whatever. And step 4 is to anchor it in your body. So this is where the nervous system comes in. One hand on your heart, one hand on your solar plexus. Breathe and repeat your new statement. And basically that's it. That's how you shift.
Exactly.
And
That's the only way to shift it, because all this is anchored within the nervous system that we're always talking about. You know,
yeah.
it's still a pain that we haven't been looked at properly. But the good news is that the first step is first step is the awareness. Is the awareness that you are more than just a woman, a mother. There is much more to that. There is still life. And so I think it's beautiful because normally the big healing starts when the relationship breaks down. And so some of them, they continue for years and years and suffering, and actually they even causing they have issues because they are so afraid of the unknown, right? I know many years ago I was also in a relationship that it took me a couple of years to get out because I didn't have enough courage to do so. And so I think what you said is so beautiful. That tool, it's probably one of the best tools that even we use it in an NLP. It's when you know what's going on, and then you start to question yourself and realize how you feel, especially if you are able to trigger, like what we did last week. So if you are able to trigger that unhappiness, the feeling of loneliness, the feeling of void, then yes, then you spot it, you breathe through it, you journal it, you question it, or move it out. But the other one, if you still want to stay in a relationship, and then you just realize that you have that disconnect, but you are happy and you don't, and you want to continue the relationship and make sure the relationship it gets better. So there are also certain things you can do while you are in a relationship within yourself and after, even with your partner. So yeah, that's beautiful. In terms of the tool, so basically the tool that we would like to give is apart from that, being aware, knowing where is that discomfort, breathe through it, journal it, alchemize it, say goodbye to it,
Burn it.
burn it down. Also, perhaps even the second one also is probably to ask, if you still want to continue within the relationship, what else I could have done or what I could do next time. How could I feel next time? And instead of, as you said it yourself really well, because we are always focusing on the other person, right?
Yeah.
It's you are the one make me feel this way. It's you, I feel lonely. It's you, you're not talking to me. Instead of blaming, perhaps we can just look within that. What is it? Where is that discomfort within us?
Yes, and what I want to bring into this is that we are not saying that this other side is, doesn't have responsibility, or, if someone is, doing something bad, you know. What I want to say is that we are not shifting blame, but it's okay that the other person is taking their side, their responsibility. Like, we are not bypassing what I want to say.
No. But also we need to very much be aware that we are not, although, as you said, there need to be boundaries set. You don't allow a certain treatment to be treated. But the only person who we can look after is only us. We have no right, any sort of right even to say that do the work. because, as we said, everybody's on their own level of consciousness, awareness of where they are.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and this is where the shift happened when
Yeah.
when women or men start to work on themselves and they go within, then they realize it's actually not the person, but there is something within me. When they start to work on themselves, either the relationship improves because of their state of being energetically, they level up in a certain level, or they break up because the other one who didn't grow couldn't actually balance the energy. It has to break up because it gives limitation to the one who is becoming aware. And so this is something that nobody talk about. It's not just you become aware and you start to work on your inner world, and then you realize the reason I become like that because I actually start to not to like myself anymore. I don't love myself anymore. I don't think I'm good enough anymore because we put them in a pedestal. And so when you realize that you started to love yourself and appreciate yourself and realize that you are the way you are and that's enough, that's when the huge shift starts. And then this is where can happen normally.
Yeah.
So I think many of us, many people, if they know that it can happen, that's also very scary for some of them to say, oh my gosh, what if I'm gonna lose a 20 years old your relationship? And the thing is that there is a high chance you will. Because we were loving before, during a year time, we become not so loving. We love everyone except us. And then we start to become again, opening like a rose. And that's the whole beauty. And also there is the people need to take this bravery to make that step towards something that is unknown.
You couldn't
Right?
said it more beautifully, Zaneta. I really love how you said all of that, and that's exactly what I wanted to add. Like when you
Thank you.
really work on yourself and become more of yourself, relationships either evolve with you or they fall away. You said
That's
it
it.
beautifully. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
I have really nothing more to add to that.
So we can close the order. No, so basically, perhaps, so the tools has been given that this wonderful audience can use, the tool that you have given, because that's the best tool ever. That's the first basic good tool, and it can go really tackle deeper, right? I love the alchemy, how you call it?
The mirror
Alchemizing.
recode, yeah, alchemizing.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Especially if you visualize that how your old self is just going in the air, say goodbye, bye-bye. And then that's would do the NLP, like you get rid of the old one, that you know who you are. And as you become aware, you create a new you, and then you bring the new one in front of you, and you just embody the new, because the old is already been alchemized. So it's all done. Beautiful.
Amazing.
Absolutely beautiful. And this is where it comes, our next topic for next week,
Yeah.
because it's all the base of this suffering, right? This suffering in a relationship, any kind of relationship, it's all based down to one thing and one thing only.
Yeah,
And that
self-love.
one is, yeah.
Because
How
everything
to
starts
start to
with
love
the self.
yourself again.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much we need to remember. We need to remember each other every time, constantly, right?
Yeah.
That you are the one, you are the love, and you are loved already. How could we forget? How we keep forgetting basic things now that
Yeah.
it's in our core.
Yeah, and we are here to help you all remember as we go through these sessions, and I just remembered what we were talking about earlier today, me and you, Zaneta, about when it is when you have done the healing, when it's the time to, say that you've done enough healing and you are ready for a relationship. And I think that that's a beautiful thing that we can uncover in the next session, where we will be talking about self-love.
Absolutely. Well done, Victoria. I totally forgot about that. We said we're going to bring it up.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you
But we are
for
all,
remembering you see, remembering our conversation.
we are already um, going over our 30 minutes, but
Yeah.
so we
We
will
always
be
do.
closing soon. That's why I said like we can keep it for next time.
Yes.
So do you have anything else you would like to add? I will see that. Is there some questions?
Please, if you
Someone,
may, yeah, let's have a look if anyone has any questions.
no questions, but do you want to add something more to this?
What I always said to closing down that if this is resonating with you and you are in a relationship and you feel disconnected, the first thing is to be so grateful, be grateful and loving and compassionate to yourself. So you have discovered that this is not because there is something wrong with you. It's because something you forgot and we are just remembering you. So always be loving and compassionate with yourself, no matter how hard it is or how unhappy or unfulfilling is what you feel right now. But this is just to show you that you are ready to take the next step towards your remembering, which is total love, unconditional love to yourself first.
Yeah, beautiful.
And so what about you, Victoria? What would you like to add?
What I like to add is that, as we said, like the foundation of every relationship we have is the one we have with ourselves. That's like a reminder for all of us.
Yes.
And I want to close this out with an affirmation. So affirm with me. I am no longer a prisoner of my old patterns. I choose love that reflects my worth, my wholeness, and my freedom. And I am the creator of how I experience relationships.
Wow, that is so beautiful, Victoria. So beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it. I think we need to put it somewhere, write it down in a fridge, in a mirror, especially in a mirror in the morning when you wake up. That it's amazing affirmation every morning, or as to remind ourselves every time when we can who we truly are. That's beautiful.
Especially, I choose love that reflects my worth, my wholeness, and my freedom. That's my favorite part. That I'm going to write that down to my mirror.
Well, if you would see my mirror, I have quite a few messages on there as well.
Yeah.
I think this is a yeah. I think it's just
Amazing.
we need to remember, because in our busy life we forget about who we are. We need to stop and then breathe and just remember who you are, and then connect to yourself and go with your day again. But always
Exactly.
stop. And the mirror is always the best thing.
Yeah. We often go to the bathroom, and when you have those few minutes, you say our affirmations. I love
Absolutely.
it. I love
Absolutely.
it.
And there is no excuse, even if you are in office. No
Yeah.
excuse. You can
Amazing.
go to anywhere.
Do
Wonderful.
you have
Well, that was such a beautiful conversation, Victoria. I could literally talk about it for hours. Literally, I could.
Me
I
too.
could just
Me
sit here
too.
with you all night. Talk about
Yeah, we will
because it's a
go on.
beautiful subject.
We will
We
go
do
on
another one.
next week. Yeah.
So the next week topic, we will talk about self-love.
Yeah, and how it is the foundation of everything.
Exactly, the foundation and where you meet the level of awareness when you enter a relationship, when you think you're ready, or where do you need to be in order to enter into an amazingly beautiful relationship.
Amazing.
Cool. Wonderful. Thank you so much for everyone who was able to join us. And obviously
Thank
there
you.
is also a reply. So replay.
Yeah.
So if any questions, if you are in a group, please don't hesitate. We would be pleased to answer them. And then see you next week.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Victoria, for your beautiful
Bye.
time. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.